by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, DHL, Alienware, Logitech G, and PaySafeCard.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Hamburg. I wanted to pause for dramatic effect there because we are no longer in the group stages. We are actually in the main event. Your main event casters for this entire LAN, Basekip, Lacoste, myself, Lyrical, and excited to be bringing you guys this action because it's going to be a little bit of an inter-regional affair as it is, again, Aster versus Vici as we move into our Vodafone pregame. Folks, how you feeling about this?
I think this is going to be hype. I saw Vici Gaming tweeting about this matchup. No one was expecting this. I don't know why. Is it Team Aster or just the Chinese matchup? But these two teams looking definitely on top 3 contenders in this tournament. Aster showed that they can be beaten, even though they were a little bit experimenting in that game since they were top of their group.
I'm super interested to see how the two groups now match up against each other, right? Because we talked about it a little bit over the course of the last couple of days. Is Group A stronger? Is Group B stronger? Is there a big discrepancy here? And I feel like this is going to be reasonably telling, though maybe not as much as if we had a cross-regional matchup, because these two teams are probably a little bit familiar with each other. So even if Vici beats Aster here, does that necessarily mean that Aster isn't going to go as far as Vici in the tournament? They could still come back to the lower bracket. It'll be interesting to see. I
mean, that's the thing, right? Because this is inter-regional matchup. They play against each other in various tournaments all the time. In the lead up to this event as well, there was a series that they played against each other just 7 days ago, actually. And Aster lost both of their games against Vici. Granted, a lot changes when you go on LAN. The whole entire meta can sometimes switch a little bit. And there are very different picks now than we saw in those tournaments. Winter Wyvern getting picked, as well as like a Magnus Bane first phase. So we might see some craziness in these first couple of picks, or we might just see more of the same.
Yeah, when Chinese teams play against each other, you see a different way they draft when they're playing against the Western teams.
This looks pretty similar so far.
Yeah. So I guess question mark is whether or not the Wisp is going to end up being banned. More than likely, I guess it's going to be Vici. That's the one thing to mention as well, that I don't know if I necessarily agree with this, but Aster were given selection priority in the first game because they were top of their group.
Yeah.
So they got to take first pick, I believe, here, and then Vici have selected Radiant. We'll probably see that flip after game number 2, and then I guess if we have a third game, then maybe they just give it to Aster again. I'm not 100% sure what the rule set is, but okay. Yeah, there's that Wisp ban. They may as well just get rid of it now.
I mean, it matters less in a best of 3 than it does in a best of 2, right? Like
that's true.
You're going to be able to get, the big telling thing is going to be what happens in game number 3. And look at this, first
we have
phase Silencer.
We have different draft here when Chinese teams are playing.
I wonder who would have said that. He must have been really smart.
Can't argue with logic.
Nope.
Well, Silencer taken out.
All right, so there's still there's the Marana, Ogre. What have Aster been super prioritizing? I'm trying to remember what they were opening the draft with. Lots of Shaker, Phoenix, mostly supports, but this time around they're going to be going for the Weaver.
This is the reason why they banned out Silencer. It's really pain in the ass to play Silencer against Weaver. You have low movement speed. Once you have a curse on, it even cripples you harder. You can't spam your spells.
Yeah, and this is a good Weaver game already because the Silencer banned, as you mentioned, but also the Tiny removed and the Earthshaker. So a lot of potential ways to burst the Weaver from full down to nothing, all pretty much completely gone. So it's similar. It feels similar to that Necrophos pick in the other game where it was just like too good of a Necrophos pick not to take it, just because they'd already banned like the Invoker and they'd already done all of this groundwork to make it a good pick. So Vici now, I mean, dipping into their reserve time already for this one.
So it's kind of interesting because in the last series these two played against each other, Invoker was first phase banned out and then second phase banned in the second game. But the other one that was highly prioritized was the Magnus. And we saw that in Aster's last game that they played too. I don't know if it's something that they're going to think about going back to or if Vici are going to go back to it because both teams played it. But something to maybe watch for.
I wonder what Vici are deciding here. Are they like trying to decide whether or not they need to take Drow here, or are they going to plan against Drow? Like, do they just take Wyvern? No,
The Ogre Drow seems pretty good. Not sure if Vici plays it a lot, but leaving Weaver Drow, you opened up the position 4 Weaver,
Yeah.
which is pretty strong.
Yeah, and we've seen Baboka play it before.
Even
so-
without draw aura, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, so that could be something a little bit scary for Vici
10
here.
seconds remaining.
But if they feel like they have counter picks for the Drow as well, they could just leave it up.
5 seconds remaining.
It looks like they have not played it once in the entire tournament.
Who?
Vici.
Haven't played the Drow.
Yeah.
Okay, that could be why it's giving them pause here. They're like, oh, are we willing to give this away to Aster?
Team pick.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a counter to a possible Drow pick here with the Winter Wyvern.
Well, kind of a counter. I think it's good, but I wouldn't say it's a hard counter or anything, right? The thing about the Drow lineup is always that it's not even so much about the Drow herself, it's just about the other heroes that you're enabling as well.
Yeah, I mean, the range core still get a lot of damage. So you
be
can
honest-
land a 2-man curse and still get a kill.
I don't think we're going to be seeing it the entire draft. It doesn't look like Aster play it either. Again, one of those interregional weird things. And could still look towards the Mirana. I think it has like a little bit less value as you go into it since there's no Phoenix in the pool this time around. But they do have the Bane, which is the nice setup for it.
I think if you've already got the
10 seconds.
Weaver, I don't know if they're going to pick the Mirana. I just don't know. The reason is that I don't know if Weaver is much of a Sylar hero.
Right.
I feel like they're going to give him a slightly harder carry in general. Though we have been seeing him play Monkey King and stuff like this. So it's not completely out of his wheelhouse to maybe play something a little bit more aggressive.
Turn to
But okay, well, there you go. The Drow's still going to end up being banned. Interesting that it's Aster that decide that they want to ban it out here.
Drow plus Ogre is
Yeah,
pretty
good.
common. Like, Ogre wins lane for you, even when you're playing Drow. When I say win, you don't necessarily have to kill people or have more CS, just do a better job early on, what usually Drow does, and pretty much she always loses a lane. Maybe they're thinking about...
remaining.
Maybe the Winter Wyvern is also considered as a counter pick to Luna, which... I think Team Aster also played it a
Yeah.
couple of times, but
Vici did too.
Vici loves Luna.
So I think the other thing is you got to think about that Terrorblade. Monkey King banned out. They have the Ogre already. Might be worth taking it away from Vici.
Yeah, Vici could certainly like
10 seconds
ban
remaining.
a Zeus and then pick a Terrorblade or something here if they wanted to. They've got options. The Invoker is still in the pool. Could be worth banning out here as well if Vici are at all worried about it. Their heroes so far are not great at dealing with the Invoker, really. Don't really get up in his face all that much, but of course they've still got all their core picks left.
Tiny is also still in the pool.
No, he's not. He's banned.
Oh, that's a Tiny. Tiny is not in the pool.
Not in the pool.
Is he in the hot
10
tub?
seconds remaining. Vici
He's in the
Oh
side.
yeah, this looks like a Terrorblade, definitely.
The Magnus.
Ooh, okay.
So they both play it. This is the same strat that basically Aster ran in the last series, Ogre and Mag.
The buff your man strat. Just
Yep.
make one buff man, and hopefully he wins you the game. What that man is going to be remains to be seen, but he's going to be buff. We know that much.
I don't think I ever saw Terrorblade Bloodlusted plus Empowered.
Oh my god.
remaining.
Yeah, that sounds really spooky.
Is Metamorphosis added as base damage? Is it white damage or is it green damage?
It's base damage.
It's
I think.
base damage?
Yeah.
So it still gets amped up by...
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm pretty sure that it is. So that's going to be pretty scary.
So they've played this in the past with Clinks also. What else has Vici run the Empower, Magnus, and Bloodlusty shenanigans with?
It has to be base damage as well, because otherwise the illusions wouldn't get it.
Yes.
Yeah. Which would be very strange.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they have run it in the past with Terrorblade. I think Terrorblade is still a pretty good pick here for Vici.
Yeah. The TB with Magnus is kind of similar to like Drow with DK, right? You're like, oh, well, he's not. In this case, it's like, oh, he's not using the cleave in ranged form, but he's still going to use the cleave to farm really effectively before that, and then the bonus damage is still super useful. So it's still some pretty good synergy. But Aster, what do they like against this Magnus? Normally, the big counters to a lot of the counters, quote unquote, to Magnus aren't very popular at the moment, like Beastmaster, Clockwork, like these heroes that can scout him and then go on the Magnus before he has any opportunity to get his spells off. I'd say that the Brewmaster is pretty decent for the Dispel here, and then Vici are definitely picking some hyper carry, which they can just keep cycloning in this game, so that's going to be pretty handy.
Yeah, we've seen Brewmaster's a really good answer to Terrorblades.
Also, Vici ran Brewmaster a couple of times, but as you mentioned, the spell of all that stuff, if it's on a different hero and just use Cyclone on a different one.
Yeah, potentially like take the TB out of the fight, leave him for last, or if you find the Magnus before the RP comes out, just keep him completely isolated out of the fight.
We knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And there it is,
Oh, okay.
budget Terrorblade.
All right.
I saw some people, well, on Reddit of all places, speculating about whether or not Sylar can play the new Morphling. He was legendary on the old Morphling, but the hero is very different now, so it'll be interesting to see how he does.
Do you think Terrorblade will get Lincoln Sphere this game? Because there's some interaction between it. Morph can't use, even if he uses Morph on Terrorblade Illusion. Nothing happens.
Yeah, it's a weird interaction where like casting Morph on the illusion is the same as targeting the main hero, and then it just pops the Lincolns and you don't get the Morph. It's very bizarre. The other thing, though, for this game is I don't even know that Morphling necessarily needs to always morph into the Terrorblade. Like, all of the other heroes are actually kind of decent. You can grab some more mobility and an Empower off of the Magnus. The Winter Wyvern with the Arctic Burn is actually pretty good.
Pretty insane game. I think I saw one game during King's Cup against Winter Wyvern, Terrorblade. You have a Dragon Lance. You're actually a better version of them.
Yeah. So I could see that. And we do get that Invoker, not a respect ban necessarily, but could have been a decent hero for D-Stones in this situation. I'm interested to see what he ends up playing here. If they feel like they just need another Terrorblade counter.
They could get Ember Spirit.
Yeah.
Ember Spirit looks good for both these teams. They need a mid hero. Magnus that empowers plus Bloodlusted. Ember, also Ember, one of the better heroes in general against the illusion carries.
Yeah. It's a shame that the hero is such a trash can, because this could have been a pretty decent Slark game in another universe where Slark is actually a good hero. But
that is not this universe.
No. Because he is pretty good against Magnus, TB, Winter Wyvern. Like, sort of the same idea as playing versus a Jug as the Slark.
They have a very bad catch. This also opens up a Storm Spirit if they want to go for it. Like, they literally have a Fiend's Grip only.
And that's it.
Like, they should pick one of the spirits, definitely. Just need to decide which one.
I think you need to try and have the hero also that stalls for the late game a bit, because with the new Morphling, you can get aggressive early. Pugna start taking down a lot of these towers and try and push the tempo. I think that this Team Aster lineup is going to be coming out with a lot of aggression.
Yeah. We saw the Lena do just fine against Pugna, right? So maybe that's something to look at here.
True. They kind of lack a little bit of burst.
Yeah. Wouldn't be too bad. I don't know what else would go well mid against the Morphling. You can hardly go wrong with the Dragon Knight.
Man, this Dragon Knight, empowered, bloodlusted, Well, pretty much any hero, name it. Any carry hero that has a Bloodlust plus Empower sounds really scary.
The two transformation heroes, a Terrorblade, a Dragon Knight, they're going to be playing around those cooldowns. We'll see if Team Aster have what it takes to sort of make the most when those are down. Thoughts on the draft, though? Do you guys like either draft more?
I'm still not convinced about the value of Magnus as a hero at the moment, so I think I'm going for Team Aster, and I think they've been playing a little bit better over the course of this event as well.
Yeah, I'll go with Aster as well. Morphling, I found them really good as a counter to a Terrorblade. Pugna as well. Also, they have a Brewmaster who I think is going to control this fight. Weaver, also XXS signature kind of hero lately. Not enough catch. There's a Dragon Knight, Stun, Magnus RP, Ogre. I don't think it's going to be enough. Also, they don't have like a big Winter Wyvern. Well, they actually do. My bad. Winter Wyvern into RP. That sounds good. But overall, Team Aster, they can just dispel these things when Panda has a split. So looking good for Team Aster.
Well, we're going to go for a full-on curse here for the Team Aster lineup on the panel. But we do still have a little bit of unfinished business, the game to be decided, and also the MVP. Who is it? MVP. All right, so we're going to be moving into the game now as it has started up. The wonderful Team Aster versus Vici Gaming. You guys, unbelievable.
All we need is Team MVP back.
I know.
Then things would become truly confusing. But RIP Korean Dota.
I'm just sitting over here. I do like a little Johnny Bravo mood, and you two just look at me. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That was Johnny Bravo.
Yeah.
I thought that was Didi from Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh, that's what I look like?
Just a move.
Well, a couple tips coming out right out of the get-go, as D Stones is going to be giving Ori the love all game long. Man, there are a lot of tips going around. What the hell is happening?
So it's a position 4 Brewmaster this game. Baboka's playing it. I wasn't 100% sure whether or not it was going to be 4 Weaver or 4 Brew. This is a little bit greedy, but I do like this lane quite a bit in terms of the amount of pressure that they can put on. They've got good nukes early. DY is going to have his work cut out for him in terms of holding back this lane, but he is an Ogre with a stat shield, so that's a good start.
He's got a mango, too.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that value. He's getting harassed, but he's got 6 HP regen. He doesn't care.
Clap.
He's forcing spells.
Hey. I feel like
they can't get this runes.
The position 4 Brew makes me sad that they don't just take Drunken Haze and, like, steal CS. I feel like that is pretty valuable. It's a little gimmicky, but at the same time, I just brought the Terrorblade.
I think he's going to get it. He just wanted to show dominance here. So they get the runes. 1, 2, 3 for 1.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see the 2-1-0 build on the Brewmaster. I don't know if he'll get the Brawlers super early on. He's against a double, well, 1.5 melee lane, so not really going to get harassed too much. Though they do have to deal with this Metamorphosis at level 1. Oh, it's another Bloodlust meta.
Yeah,
they would get more value out of Drunken Haze, I think.
Yeah, right? I mean, I can understand the desire to go in and get the runes, help out your other lanes as well. And they probably shouldn't take too much damage from this, I would imagine. This Metamorphosis is going to wear off shortly. We'll have to watch and see how that goes. In the mid lane, D-Stones trying to put the hurt here, but they keep on getting the Breathe Fires to secure last hits. We'll eventually need to build into that Soul Ring, most likely. Although it looks like he's actually going to be going for a Bracer into Wand as DY taking the punishment. Punches abound. Is it going to be enough damage, though? Don't quite have enough yet, as he is just living through it. The salve as well, and they just punch XXS in the face. Bulbaca!
No.
What's going on, buddy?
Why are we diving the Ogre?
Like, There's literally no way that they just did this. Dived. Ogre with a stout shield who had a flask and a couple of tangos left.
As soon as he got into the fog, that needed to be the end of that.
Abort mission right away.
Yeah.
See, the problem is they used all their tips early. They need to use them there.
Yeah, that would have been some real psychological damage.
There we go. Another decrep in the mid lane. But yeah, disaster down bottom. Sylar up top. He's having to deal with the pressure coming from Yang and Mr. Fade as he are going to pop one of the salves back the other direction. And an Arcane Rune Pugna. Ugh.
Yeah, at least he doesn't have that much mana, but still kind of annoying. At least Ori seems to be sustaining just fine in this lane. I'm interested to see whose tower is going to end up falling first at mid. Oh, Bane dead above. Oh no, Bane just suiciding to neutrals. It's fine. Even with the nerf to make it 24 seconds to respawn after dying to neutrals, it's still happening.
He bought 4 branches and 6 tangos. He's coming back to the lane. Spent all his money.
He's ready to go. A little surprised that Bobica decided to go for the Drunken Brawler. I guess the idea here is that you're probably just going to get a stick on Paparazzi, and then you won't be able to apply much pressure to him because he'll always have full stick charge. As Bobica looks like he is just going to go down. Well, punishment possibly could come as Paparazzi trying to run away from XXS. Does have another Sakuchi in a second as they break through that salve, but DY gonna instead be the one that likely goes down there.
Yeah, support for support, but with the salve being canceled, that's a little bit troublesome for Paparazzi. 200 HP and...
He took a couple of tangos. Ogre's coming back. He actually got 6 of them, plus 3 on Ogre.
Nightmare, back out. Fenrir, fine and dandy. As they trade over the sleep that direction now, which gives a few more punches to Fenrir, and Sylar could have thought about going for a waveform there.
Fenrir was more than happy to take those additional free auto attacks. That was no problem whatsoever.
Oh my god, Bobica does still have a clap available as they're going to glyph this wave and keep the pressure on Paparazzi. Bugs, giving them vision, and they use the reflection to try and create a little bit of space as DY also going to lay into his, but they find the kill. Nicely played by Bobica, even though the rotation came from Fade. And DY also looking like he might be in trouble, but ends up being able to get the Fire Blast underneath the tower. And XXS just trying to run out of there. Another Sakuchi in a second. He's good.
This is big because Paparazzi needs to run back to the lane. TP is still on cooldown, and it also opens up free farm for Sylar on top.
Yeah, he's been doing really nicely.
Are they going to find a kill here? Yang wisely going to the north. Sorry, wisely going up. Lacoste.
Thank you. And they're going to pick up 2 for 2 runes.
D-stones. Breaking salves, breaking hearts, trying to kill off Ori. He's punishing him a little bit. So he gets another decrep out there. Stun coming. And another round, one more Nether Blast. Nah, he's not gonna stick around for it. Or he's forced to TP away.
He's just TP into the shrine. Oh no, he didn't wait for the Magnus. That's a report.
He needs to defend at mid tower. Oh,
Yeah.
All right, there's a Winter Wyvern there, so Pugna's putting a lot of pressure on that tower. There's a catapult there. Is he gonna save him with the decrypt? Nope. For one more extra hit.
Nope.
Bottom lane.
World XXS going in pretty deep there, and Bobica needing to run away as well.
I think he Shikuchi'd in and then got stunned by the ogre. So he came out of Shikuchi right on top of the Terrorblade.
D-Stone's getting his rune taken away from him as well, as maybe Magnus in some trouble here. Yang, he stands in front of this one, so he will have the brain sap to get the kill. Fenrir.
Southwest, not the way to move with Magnus.
You're so good at that.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the direction for 7 seconds.
It's all those stat items on the Bane actually helped him get that kill, right? The fact that he's got +6 all stats in his inventory is actually helping out a lot.
Bane is the only hero who has equal stats.
Yeah, that's true.
Bobica being chased now, but will survive. So they throw a couple more punches there on XXS.
The reflection is so annoying for the Brewmaster. It gets the crit as well.
Yeah.
Life drain at mid. T-Stone just asserting dominance, but I mean, he's only a little bit ahead in terms of CS.
I mean, the denies have been pretty impactful, but gonna probably lose his life here. Yeah, they managed to find that kill.
Dire's middle tower
Ogre
is under
too
attack.
strong. Solid rotation.
Let's see Sylar, what he can do with Magnus, empowered, plus the skewer on top. In most of the games, I'd love to see power treads into mask build, just for the sustain, but in this game, Lincoln Sphere is gonna be so good. They have Dragon Knight to pierce through it, Winter Wyvern ulti, good stuff that he can block Sunder.
Yeah, it's going to be really useful. I think this build's probably also a little bit more comfortable for Sylar. If he hasn't played a ton of the new Morphling, then he'll probably be pretty used to just going for the Lincoln's build-up.
Yeah.
Fenrir, hello.
Drain is on cooldown, they can't kill him.
Yeah, that was a little strange. But it will be DD picked up there for D-Stones. Bottom lane, XXS trying to see if he can do something to fade, but it's a little bit too tough there as Bobica is soaking up experience over in the jungle from Paparazzi.
Are fortified.
Looks like that's going to be about it. See, pops Metamorphosis for that one, actually.
God, Sylar is so farmed compared to this TB.
Yeah.
It's like almost doubling him up.
Bobica just sitting here,
Yeah,
AFK.
Free experience, man. Look at that. He's getting closer to level 6 by the second.
I mean, Terrorblade should know something is up if
Yeah.
you just see you're not getting the full XP out of those creeps.
Gotta be careful here. Needing to run away on Vici, but everybody's showing up. Paparazzi immediately trying to TP out, but he's dead. And DY also going to die. This is before 6 on the Brew.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Sylar takes the tier 1 tower. Man, Aster just firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, they're moving their cores a lot, but it's really working out for them. XXS kind of all over the place. We saw this on his Legion Commander as well, kind of making the same things happen on the Weaver this game. They're greedy-ish heroes, but he's making a lot of space and finding a lot of kills.
I think the biggest thing that is probably going to be tough to get used to for Sylar on this Morph lane is
Using other spells.
well, to be honest, I don't know if that's the hardest part. I think the hardest part, if you haven't played Morph in a while, is that you can't switch attributes when you're stunned.
That's true.
That was like the biggest change, I would say, to the playstyle, where you have to play so much more conservative.
Yeah, fortunately, he'll have the Lincoln Sphere this game, so it should give him some time to react
Yeah.
most of the time, unless he gets RP'd.
Bottom tower has
But
fallen.
it's not going to be happening for a little while. This is the other problem with the Magnus as an offlaner, is that he needs to, like, at least when you have a Centaur, you can kind of make some plays. He can pop a Stampede and go and get some kills. Magnus 100% needs the Blink to really be able to do anything. And I feel like that's really what's getting exploited at the moment from Aster, is that Yang is just not really a part of this game just yet. He's also got this 1-3-1 build, so very farming oriented. They do have 2 big cores to utilize it, but this is always the problem with offlane Magnus. When is he actually going to be near his cores to empower them?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also Dragon Knight was kind of shut down in a lane. They are putting a lot of pressure, and they took the tier 1 tower on mid. Usually Dragon Knight is the one who wants to do that, to open up the map for his team, but no one on this team wants to play aggressive. Dragon Knight needs a mobility item, has Shadowblade queued up, either that or a Blink Dagger, so he can use a stun. Oh, there's gonna be an RP.
This is what I was talking about.
Another
Does
stun.
not have the switch over, and it's too quick, too easy.
5-man game. I mean, it's worth it if they get the bottom tower out of it. And they will. 4-man rotation.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, they had used RP and Winter's Curse, so nothing really to make the play with, although they bring in DY. Yeah, this was wrong place, wrong time. He's gonna bloodlust the tower and give up his life.
That's it.
I feel like if they're telling themselves that it's like 11 minutes, they shouldn't be losing a tier 2 tower like
yes.
this. That's the instinct, but because they showed all 5 heroes top, they have to give this one away.
And Dire just glyphed, so they can either pressure the tier 3 with Pugna or just defend the tier 1 tower.
I'd really like to see that
Scan
pressure.
coming out from Radiant to see if someone is TPing.
Yeah, they're keeping Weaver down there, but he's gonna move out afterwards. I guess he's still pretty low levels on everybody.
Oh, I like this cross-map smoke a lot from Aster. They're going to catch somebody on the way back out. Vici not backing up as a team.
This is a good kill to get. Grip ready.
Immediately gonna find him there. They have the split if they need to use it after the fact, but looking like they're just gonna be able to go with D-Stones. And getting the kill onto DK, continuing to make his life terrible. That's
They wanted Panda to get that last hit to get him closer to a Blink Dagger.
Even without getting it, he's not that far away. TB just going... I mean, TB's only got one build. He's going for the Dragonlance here. I guess we did see the Dragonlance skipped in favor of a drum in some of our earlier games, but still very much what we're expecting overall. And Vici just not really that much playmaking potential. I guess we did see the Winter's Curse into the RP, but they desperately need this Blink, and Yang just feels so far away. The map is so small for them right now.
I mean, this looks like it could just keep on being a stomp, to be honest. You've got so much potential to keep the pressure on. It's 12 minutes and they're up 5,000 gold already. Like, if you want to, you can move in towards Roche potentially, picking up 1 or 2 items. I don't know. I'm really worried about Vici's potential in this game. And Yang, spotted by XXS, stealing the creep and then running away.
Just being a nuisance. The problem as well for Vici is that they've taken this top tier 1 tower, but they don't really have a hero that can feel at all confident to go and sit up there and actually take that farm and also make use of the Dire jungle. So that's where a lot of this net worth discrepancy is coming from. Look at Aster. They've completely taken over the Radiant jungle. They're sucking up all the farm out of that. But Vici aren't managing to steal any farm out of the Dire jungle really at all. So as this continues going on, Aster is just going to build up more and more of a net worth lead minute by minute.
And they still don't have those core items that they need. The one effective play that they've had in the last 8 minutes or so has been using 2 ultimates. And granted, they did find a high priority kill, but does not feel like it's quite enough at this point, at least until they get Yang Blink Dagger up. This is looking like it's going to be the situation.
Yeah, he still needs 700 gold. Same goes for a Dragon Knight. A lot of gold needed to get those initiating items up. Panda's going to have his, which is very good for Aster. He just needs to clap this wave. Nah, just kidding.
He did it.
He did it. Has a mango. That's a Blink Dagger. Plus a Clarity, probably. No gold.
They have a lot of heroes in the area, and having that Terrorblade just sit up there in the creep wave is not necessarily what you want to have happen. It's just stuck over in the trees. But a smoke up, maybe a chance to find this Pugna farming away. Although D-Stones is backing out, going to head over towards the shrine. The rest of Aster are in the mid lane now. They do have vision.
It always feels like whenever your tier 1 tower falls, let's say you're Dire on the top lane, you just can't pick up your rune ever.
Yeah.
The bounty one.
It very quickly becomes like...
It's always like this,
Dire
mirrored.
take the right 2 and the...
From southwest to northeast, we split the map.
Yeah.
Still a 5,000
Down the mid lane.
Yes.
And this is a dead DY. But do they find any more? Does not look like it, as Terrorblade's still trying to play this one safe. Pugna even going for a Blink Dagger.
Yeah, it's potentially pretty good here. They can...
It's great. He has enough range. With the Ether Lance, with the Blink Dagger, it's going to be even better to stop the Winter's Curse. If it's not used on him, of course.
Yeah. And even just being able to, like, if they don't stun you properly and you're the one not caught in the middle of the Winter's Curse, you can always just spam Blink out. Like, the damage immunity is always super useful.
Fenrir again.
If he's super sick, he might even blink an RP. Like, there's a little bit of a wind up there. You can
Blink into RP?
No, blink out of an RP.
All right.
Same as like people blink out of Chronosphere, right?
Yeah.
Same idea.
Well, That is a smoke up now, and Vici realizing, okay, we got to do something, guys. But Aster not really giving them that opportunity yet, as they're going to move through to the bottom lane. Eyes set currently to the south. Morphlane, are they going to be able to find him? He's got his Lincoln Sphere ready with that DD wave. Form forward, Ori can't go. The rest of his team is not there, and Sylar able to escape.
I'm not sure I like this Ethereal Blade on the Morphling. Like,
I think it's good.
you think so?
Yeah, it's really good against the Winter Wyvern Curse, and then you have the Creepify with the Pugna, so you can just play around it. They rely so much on heavy physical damage.
I was saying to burst through the Terrorblade, but...
Yeah.
And if Pugna goes for a Dagon, that's also great synergy.
Yeah, I suppose. They've just already got quite a bit of magical damage, but I suppose the DK and the Terrorblade are just such high armor targets that maybe it's worth it to just go all in on the magical damage.
Well, to be honest, like, E-Blade's a lot of damage. It's a lot of agi.
Yeah. Yeah, it does a lot of right click as well.
Well, 17 minutes, and it's pretty much been the same story so far of Aster kind of dictating the pace, although they haven't really blown that lead open yet.
Yeah, we're still yet to see the Primal Split used. That's what Aster itching to come and pop right here. Come and find a couple kills.
Well, and there again is going to be DY dead. Bobica picks up that kill.
Bobica needs some kind of a mana item. At least finish the magic wand or just bring some clarities and mangoes, because he doesn't have mana to use a combo.
He's got the mana regen talent, doesn't he?
Nah.
Nah. Brew has HP or damage.
Oh, what was the
Dragon
one I
Knight
saw?
has mana
Dragon
regen.
Knight. Okay. That would be a good talent for Brew. Jeez.
Oh, that would be, yeah, it would be sick if he had mana regen at level 10. This hero has some pretty serious mana problems and very few ways to really solve it.
Ori revealed for a moment, but was able to get the Shadow Blade, walk away. Could have been an opportunity there since they had a bunch of heroes in the area. While Yang with his Blink Dagger.
Constant 5k advantage for Aster for the previous 5 minutes probably, so it means that Aster is not getting too much out of these early tower takens on tier 1, even tier 2 on the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, the relative net worth lead becomes less and less significant as time goes on.
I think part of it as well is that Vici are farming the Ancients a little bit, and Aster don't really have the heroes to do it.
Yang! Oh, God.
So I think that's part of where they're managing to keep this even though they have less of the map available, they're farming Ancients more effectively.
Sylar's running, trying to get out of there.
How do you plan to stun him?
I don't know. Maybe break the Lincolns with DY. But I think that Sylar took that waveform talent. So, more maneuverability.
Yep.
I've seen some people take the Agi. I think it's still pretty good. But that extra
Dire's
range
middle tower is under
is
attack.
pretty insane.
Dire's structures are fortified.
We were just going for a Diffusal Blade here. Gonna be pretty annoying for some of these lower mana heroes like the Dragon Knight and the Magnus.
Not to mention the Terrorblade. Important once you get to that level 20 or level 18,
Yeah.
even still having...
Oh, but the XXS may be changing his mind. Use up the Ags.
Yeah, I think Ags is the game-winning item here. But if this game drags post 60 minutes, maybe one damage item right now, like a Maelstrom into Ags, that sounds really good to me. So he can outpush the lanes faster.
Just secure his game a little bit more.
And have Aghanims. He's gonna find Winter Wyvern. Curse TP out.
Adios. Hello again. XXS, dusted. Time-lapse, Sakuchi. See you later.
He might get a courier.
He might get baited by that career.
But yeah, sort of a slow last couple of minutes here. 7 to 10, still just that 5,000 gold lead.
They're just waiting for Sylar.
Yeah.
They don't really have too many other plays that they can make. The other thing is that their initiation is not, like, their hard initiation just comes from the Bane walking up and Fiends gripping somebody. So they have to be kind of careful.
They have Brewmaster with Blink.
Yeah.
We yet have to see a split from Brew.
Radiant's top tower
Might happen here as Ori is starting to take down Tier 1 tower, but they're just going to give it up.
has fallen.
And with that, Vici smoked, heading towards the north. They scan.
Structures are fortified.
Dire, maybe thinking that they're going in for a Roche play, are going to move into that direction, but we'll realize very shortly that that is not what's happening.
Very early BKB from the Terrorblade. I think a lot of the time we see people complete the Manta and then go back for the BKB, but Paparazzi wanting to be ready to fight right now.
Or you see a build where people go for Yasha just to increase the farming capabilities a little bit, but
Yeah,
he
not
has
that
a
he needs it.
Bloodlust and Empower this
Yeah.
game, so not needed.
All right, and again, the walk away. Aster, not going to be found there. And this is, I think, one of the problems that we're starting to see is that farming is catching up for Vici. You've got the Empower on both the DK and the Terrorblade, and the lead, a whopping 1,000 gold change from what we had before.
Yeah, it's been static around that 5K mark for a little while here.
Oh,
right,
Sylar's a
Sylar.
Terrorblade.
How does the Metamorphosis buff work once your morph duration runs out? Do you just lose it? We'll probably see it
do not
here.
know. We'll find out shortly. I would imagine that you keep it the entire time. It's the same type of thing with like a Bloodlust or something, right?
Maybe. I mean, it's like a transformation ability. So I don't even know if does he get the bonus damage if he's not in Terrorblade form? I'm not actually.
He shouldn't get it.
I don't think he should.
Has enough gold to buy full shotgun.
Yeah. But the DK and the TB do both have BKBs. So this is actually a little bit of a weak point, I think,
Radiant's
for
top tower is under attack.
weak point of the game for Aster's lineup.
This is what's so strange I find about like these matchups is like you sit around, you wait for your big item timing, but you don't take advantage of the relative lead that you had earlier. Sort of are losing out on your potential. And I guess they feel comfortable because they've got these steroids in their farm and damage. And I guess if you find these little pickoffs, there is still that
Wagner,
Aeon disc. On D-Stones though, living for the moment. Decrep there onto the Dragonite. D-Stones just gonna saunter away from there. Meanwhile, Brew punching the tower, blink away, TP out. Oh, God. That's not good. And he also doesn't have enough mana to go for the split. Oh, jeez.
Run it off, Baboka.
Hello, my friend.
If he gets enough misses in a row.
Well, that happens. I don't know. I don't really like the idea of not taking advantage of like this strong timing that Aster had earlier.
Back to 5K.
Yeah, I certainly think that they could have done more with the Brewmaster Blink. I think the fact that they haven't used the Brew Blink just yet is a bit concerning. The tier 2 towers are not easy to take away from Vici. I think that tier 2 that they got bottom was a little bit of a fluke because they 5-man ganked Sylar.
Oh, it's gonna be 4 runes for Vici.
Well, and Aster revealed that there's a ward in the area too. Down to 3,000 gold lead. And like these items, like Dagon, Pugna, not necessarily falling off, but like you want to hit this timing hard.
The cores have BKBs now, 10-second ones. Also, Winter Wyvern with Ether Lance and Blink Dagger should position himself nicely in a team fight.
I just don't know if is the Morphling going to be... The way that Aster are playing, to me, suggests that they feel really confident about the Morphling's ability to carry this game, but I don't actually know. I feel like the Terrorblade and the DK with the buffs that they have on their side are just going to get super scary.
The thing about it, they're playing not to lose the advantage they had. That really is what I feel like it came down to there. Like, you had this big lead that you were able to build into Blink Dagger on Brewmaster, and then it's basically been nothing since then. And like Lacoste was saying, if you don't go for that damage item first for the Aghanims on Weaver, like, you want to make something happen right now, because...
Yeah, you want to fight with these items. You have a Blink Dagger, there's a smoke coming probably.
Okay. So I guess
they're really strong right now.
Yeah.
Just charging down the mid lane. I don't know to what extent they would have actually been able to force a fight, like right after the brew, blink, and stuff like that. Because there is like pretty good counter initiation from Vici. You're never quite sure if, like, you blink, clap, but then there can be a Winter's Curse, or there's all kinds of different ways that they can jump back in.
Base Kip, you gotta risk it. Can't be sitting on your biscuit. Speaking of which, they're gonna jump forward, find themselves one. BKB immediately from that DK as they try and lift up the Ogre in the air. And, well, Aster gonna find themselves a quick kill. Shotgun down and dead.
Gotta kill that Ogre.
Lift up on another.
He actually used Morph on the Dragonite. Do they want to go through Roche? Dragonite, no form for... He actually has it for 30 seconds, but no BKB. I don't think they can do Roche.
It's definitely not when you decrypt Roche. All right, there's some shenanigans going down. They try and do it, but they blink away, and now the turnaround with the Winter's Curse.
Nice, the
decrypt is doing good stuff, but there's going to be the RP used as well. Sylar down to low. He is going to switch back over into the DK form now, throwing out the stun and trying to wave form to the other side of the river, living for the moment. Ogre going to respawn in just a second while they're still controlling that DK. Blink away. And suddenly, Fenrir going to throw out the Nightmare and go for the walk away. Paparazzi. Not able to chase.
Ethereal Blade plus the Cripify, keeping them in the fight there. Also Morphling with the Dragonite extra armor, keeping him alive. He goes down so quickly, man. Once Terrorblade and Dragonite focus him with the Empower and Bloodlust, now they should try to play, because they don't have any big ulti cooldowns besides Brewmaster, and Brewmaster's not doing that much at the moment.
Sylar walking forward, daring them to come and fight. And guess what? Aster have Metamorphosis, and Vici don't.
Yep. Now it's a good time to Roche.
Sylar keeping his illusion up there on the high ground. The team's not quite feeling comfortable going in as they move into the pit. Sylar not actually popping Metamorphosis here, and Paparazzi able to switch over to the side. He's slept for the moment. They have Brew Split back up yet again. Dispel Magic. Paparazzi's completely out of mana. He cannot sunder if Sylar can get into range, and they're thinking about jumping on him right now. Can't quite find him. There's the BKB.
Charges.
Turning it back around, living for the moment. The Winter's Curse again onto Weaver, but there's going to be the decrep, keeping him alive. The Metamorphs is out from Sylar as well as they try and turn on a DK and able to find that kill. Now jump forward, and TY also in trouble. Sylar still chasing as they're going to kill off Fade. Double kill for Sylar. Yang, Shadowblade run away. This is Roche.
Man, the way they're controlling these fights is just insane. First, they try to bait a couple of BKBs, and then they go into Roche. Another good Decrepify. I'm not sure if it was Decrepify or Ethereal Blade, just to keep him alive. Also, Fenrir used Sleep Nightmare as well. So.
Yeah, they're making life so hard for Vici. And I guess that is the one thing. They've picked these buff heroes, and they've gone all in kind of on the physical damage, and then Aster just like, yeah, we have Pugna and E-Blade. What are you gonna do? How are you actually gonna finish these kills? We keep seeing heroes drop down to like half HP, and then they just get set into Ethereal multiple times in a row. I don't know, maybe they need a nullifier on the Dragon Knight or something.
Man, I wish Brewmaster bought a Blink when he had, not a Blink, Midas when he had 2k gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have an item and a half now. But you never know. Like, they wanted to put some more pressure, then decided, yeah, we need to just chill back, farm up on this morph. He has Eye of Scott, he just needs to get to the shop.
I think it's safe to say Sylar is still pretty comfortable on the morph lane.
I mean, he hasn't really used the morph that much. I feel like Resolution we saw making like really pushing the limits of the hero and getting these solo kills, waveform in, morph into the ogre, use all the spells, chase after him. Sylar's kind of used it a little bit. Like he jumps back into the Dragon Knight morph.
That's the only morph.
That's like the only successful one he's used.
I guess the reason why is because he had a free lane and this game is going slow, so they were not fighting at all.
I think that's the big thing, is that like it's part of Morph is also just dominating the laning stage, but I think it's more a team decision than like him playing poorly at any point.
Oh no, I'm certainly not. I'm not flaming him, but I'm not saying that this game shows that he has like mastered the new Morphling.
Right.
I think he could have. He's played this almost identically to how you would play like old Morphling, just without ult.
Yeah. Well, Fenrir able to get the D ward before he dies. And D-Stone showing in the mid lane. Gotta be careful, Yang. Oh, good blink away.
He's got his Aeon Disc off cooldown, so would have been... I think they could have gotten him, but it would have been difficult.
He has a morph of Terrorblade.
Just take that one over. The Aegis in hand. Aster in a really good position here.
So Illusion has 242 damage, and when... Wait, what? Like all these illusions have different amount of physical damage. I guess he's just morphing.
I think it's his treads. It's morphing and he's swapping his treads a little bit. I think those two illusions have different tread settings.
256 against 223. That's not power tread swap. Never mind.
Whatever.
Math.
Morphling
Dota.
is a hero which
has variable stats.
Yes.
So.
And he leaves us with a lot of question. Dust popped?
Getting out of there. One of the downsides to this draft that Aster's put together is not a whole heck of a lot of ways to break TPs quickly.
That is the. I think that's the downside that a lot of these.
What the hell? Oh my god!
A lot of these teams that we've been seeing, we're seeing some of the downsides of picking these heroes like Mirana and Necro and Weaver and stuff for your offlane. Works pretty well as far as the laning stage goes, and then the beginning of the mid game. But then after that, you do start to feel like you're lacking the presence of that Axe or Axe, Magnus, Centaur, these like true offlane initiators.
Weaver also building towards the Undisk.
Okay.
They just don't want to die during the curse, or where's that Aghanim Scepter ulti? There it is.
Fine and dandy. There's the Winter's Curse. E-Blade immediately. Can't do all that much, plus it's the support brew anyways.
And I mean, that ulti was just for Bane? I don't know what that was about. Now they don't have a... They've just lost one of their best ways to cancel Fiend's Grip as well. So Fenrir's, he's looking for it now.
Terrorblade has Lincoln Sphere. He does not want Morph to steal his meta.
Yeah, I actually ended up using it right there. And Morphling a little confused about what happened.
Sylar is like, I just cast that on the illusion. Why am I not Terrorblade?
Yo, you gotta read Arteezy's Twitter.
Question mark. Yeah, I don't speak Chinese, but I can see bug, call down.
And this is Ori saying, yo,
Lin
get good.
Lincoln.
Go.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Oh, that's so good. All right, look, guys, if you had any doubts about whether or not Sylar is up to date with playing Morphling on the current patch, I feel like that answers it.
Just when I mentioned it.
That pause is so perfect. The like, you hear the Lincoln's pop sound and then the game freezes. Oh, man.
Should we explain that for anybody that doesn't understand? Could you guys...
Okay, so the interaction there is that Morphling, in theory, should be able to cast his ultimate on illusions to morph into that hero. But the thing is that the way that it's programmed, at least from what I understand, is that when you cast morph on an illusion, it actually like globally casts morph on the original hero, and that just pops the Lincolns on the Terrorblade, and you don't actually get the morph. So it's a little bit weird. I think if the Linken's is on cooldown, it still happens properly.
Yeah.
But it's just this weird thing where they're kind of redirecting. I think the reason that it happens is because they need to... Morph needs to pull the stats of the original hero. It's a bit buggy. It'll get fixed. We're still in beta. If you go into your Steam folder, it's still Dota 2 beta.
That's right. Well, 9 to 15, 4,000 gold lead. I'm curious if that changes the priority for Aster at all. I mean, it doesn't really change all that much, but it's one other thing that they're going to have to deal with. They have lots of ways to break Linken's in this game too, though. Like, Brew, Drunken Haze is amazing for it.
I'm still also not convinced that the... I mean, morphing into the Terrorblade is good, but I think the other heroes on the team are also pretty solid. And, I mean, he has his own 2 ways to pop Linken's Sphere as well.
True enough.
Yeah. I wonder what happens if you do it and the TB is dead.
Oh.
Yeah, you just broke the game.
It just doesn't work.
Pagna with the Aghanim Scepter, just to clear those illusions, also keep Morphling alive. Also went for 20 talent, 25 life drain heal.
So we've got 2 heroes with ambulance builds this game, right? we got the Pugna ambulance, and then we got the Weaver ambulance as well. If Sylar can't make this happen with all of this like true
Sylar can turn into Winter Wyvern,
heal
steal
himself.
Embrace. 9-1-1 lineup.
Well, they're just going to walk up to high ground again. Vici isn't here. Are they? Definitely should. Definitely should. Yeah, they're doing it.
TB still got no teleport for 30 seconds, right?
I think it's the same for DK, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
Yeah.
now DK's back. DK's
right.
in the base.
Well, Sylar takes the tier 3 tower. What you gonna do now? Getting the heal. There's the Ags as well. Fine and dandy. The Brew split is popped. They're keeping everybody back. And Decrep Dagon. Sylar can't jump again if he wants, but this is just melee barracks taking a good bit of damage. Wraparound coming. Winter's Curse only onto 1. Terrorblade shows up. Paparazzi gonna pop that Metamorphosis and turn on Defender. Is going to be able to find that. D-Stone's needing to run away as well as he got hit by that RP, but the Aeon Disc gonna proc afterwards. Sylar turns now on to TY. Gets a mega kill streak as Yang trying to run away.
Blink.
Force the buyback.
Almost had it.
Oh, and they got him. So DK dead. Yang can go back in for another round, but he doesn't have RP now.
Bane just needs to sit as far as possible, do nothing for 15-20 seconds, then join a fight.
Sylar totally wasted his E-Blade there. Pugna was solo Winter's Curse, and he cast it on him.
Well, healing back up Sylar again, and there's going to be the skewer back in. Can they get any of these kills? They've already got the Decrep, though, and it looks like Weaver going to be able to walk away. Bobica might be the one that pays the price, but D-Stone saving his buddy yet again. Not going to be enough. He is going to go down eventually. Decrep on himself, and they can turn this Weaver Bugs back onto Vici. But I don't think that's going to be enough to dissuade them from going forward.
Nice play from Dragonite. He silenced the Weaver there, so she can't use Aghanim Scepter on Panda, because that would just cancel all the work they've done. Roche is up. Pugna, no buyback. Brewmaster has a buyback, but he also lost the gem.
And we're still sitting at just that 4,000 gold lead, even though they were able to take down the melee barracks.
5?
Oh, it's back up again.
5 is the magic number in this game.
Yeah, we've been stuck here this entire time.
Roche is a pretty big deal, though.
I think they're gonna get Dragonite Aegis because he bought back.
Sundering Fade. Now it's Vici with a chance to control the map for a little while.
Yeah, the only problem is, I don't know, are they going to get... they probably won't get stalled out on this Aegis. I think Aster will be able to delay a significant chunk of it, but Vici should still be able to force something. Their vision is really weak at the moment, but this push up towards top should probably get at least one more ward down.
Yeah, but they have a gem now.
Yeah.
And honestly, Sylar is just so huge, too. Like, he's got a butterfly now, on top of everything else. This guy hits pretty hard. Getting pretty close to the waveform. Charges as well. I think that's better than the adaptive strike. The +3 shots is pretty cool.
Dire's top tower.
The waveform mobility is just so useful, though. It's especially since he's gotten the waveform distance down.
Right.
And waveform attacks targets, so he's probably gonna get that one.
I mean, honestly though, like, have you seen it? Just shoot them off all over the place.
It looks cool.
You're a big fan of all these multi-shot talents, aren't you, Gabe?
They're really good.
The PA one. Who else has it? PA.
Visage.
Visage. Yep. Soul Assumption.
Clinks kind of does.
It's 2. I'll give it to you.
It's the other one.
Gyro kind of has it.
Well, that's a stretch.
Drowags.
Yeah, that's
another butterfly.
Skywrath Mage. Skywrath has the talent.
Yeah, we can stop now. Magnus with the refresher. Does he have enough mana? 300, 975. He actually has it.
Okay.
But he needs to be full.
He has arcane boots too, so he can do that little trick. So, Vici gonna walk up to high ground. Sylar, the one right in front of him, immediately just gonna kill DY, and the BKB is out as well. Yang thinking about jumping in on him right there, and Sylar gonna jump up to the high ground. RP onto 2. Refresher can come out in a second as he pops the phase boots. A second round of it, but they haven't been able to kill him off. Sylar didn't get caught in the second one. They're living. Nobody is dead. Weaver can jump away if he wants to. D-Stone's trying to live through this one as well, and they can't manage to break it. The Decrep, the runaway, he is going to eventually fall. But in the meantime, Sylar trying to go up against Paparazzi, finds the kill, and Ori also in some trouble as Sylar switches back over to the DK form. They get that finish as well.
Weaver has Axe. Oh, almost.
Not quite gonna happen in time.
More of hitting too hard.
Ori Aegis down and done. Sylar still chasing, waveform forward, the long duration stun, as well as all the drain in the world as they're just gonna pummel into poor old Ori. And we just saw the interaction as Sylar switched into the Terrorblade as well, and he is able to do that in the illusion, even though the Terrorblade's dead.
Nice.
If you think about it, just killing the Ogre first. All right, it's just an Ogre, but he Bloodlust, Terrorblade, and Dragonite, so that's a huge loss.
Wait, is that what it... Wait, how did he see him? How did he hit him? He hit him once, right? On the hill?
Yeah, I don't know.
How does that work?
That's Dota 2 for you.
If you click in your local C files,
okay,
it's gonna still be called Dota Beta, right?
Yeah, 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 Dota 2, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Morphling.
Pew, 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 pew.
Hitting pretty hard right there. And is going to be able to take down both of those racks. Can move down towards the bottom as well. It's still just a 3,000 gold lead, but Vici stuck inside their base and eventually going to get lifted up if they walk too far outside of it. Sylar hit pretty hard for an Ogre.
Dragonite has 25 extra seconds added. RP ready.
Good for it, and in some trouble, but there's going to be the turnaround. And Weaver, for your trouble, you're going to take some punches.
Set up RP.
3 people caught in this one, all the cleave in the world, but it's not enough to kill off Sylar, who's just gonna waveform away. He's got 2 of them, by the way, as they kill off the Ogre. D-Stone still living for the moment and able to life drain away. Can they kill them off in time? The reflection turned back around on to the Terrorblade. Triple kill for Mr. Sylar as he's looking for more. And is he going to be able to get it?
Man, Terrorblade did so much more damage because he was in a melee form under that RP. With the Empower.
4,100, but I think it's all for naught. Even though Aster is still just 2,000 gold ahead. Well, Sylar, there's the time lapse yet again, living through it all. Reflection thrown back against them. Ori trying to lay into this Morphling, who is still just beating him into a pulp. There's going to be the Cold Embrace as the BKB wears off. GG is going to be called. And this is Aster Dota continuing to assert dominance here in the upper bracket.
Just such a nice strat, to be honest. The Pugna and the E-Blade working out so nicely. The net worth was super even the whole game, and it just didn't matter. They stopped them from actually right-clicking anyone the entire time.
Their team coordination is so good. They actually won the fight with Pugna and Ethereal Blade on Morph. Just trying to stall while their BKB goes down. And man, I always feel like Pugna is one of the better heroes against Winter Wyvern. If you combine that with an Ethereal Blade, no one's going to die.
Tough stuff. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for game number 1 here in the upper bracket. We're going to continue our coverage of the ESL One Hamburg. No longer group stages, but actually in the main event now, even though we're not in the stadium. So stay tuned. More from Vici versus Aster right after this.